Steve Yabsley.
BBC Radio Bristol.
And time to welcome my next guest of the day into the studio. Delighted to say I'm joined by, is it Steve Carnivali?
Steve Carnivali, and my artist name is Carnivali.
Well, there you go. Although they are spelt differently, aren't they?
They are spelt differently. Carnivali, the artist name, which is probably more important as we are doing a radio interview, is spelled C-A-R-N for November, I-V-A-L. So Carnival with an I on the end. So Carnivali. So I'm of Italian descent. I loved Frankie Valli. I love the word carnival, so I can remember Frankie Valli in the film Jersey Boys about Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons, and his girlfriend said, "You've got to put an I on the end of your name." So that's why I've got an I on the end of my name.
Well, thank you for coming in. You are, of course, a local singer, songwriter, and we're going to play your wonderful single, Movie Town Girl, in a moment, which is just so catchy. Let's talk a bit about your background, first of all. Where were you actually born?
I was born, actually, Steve, I was born about a mile down the road at St Michael's Hospital.
Fabulous hospital. Yeah.
So we're in, for people who are obviously listening, we're in Clifton in Bristol, and I was actually born a mile away from where I'm recording this interview.
I wonder where you'll die. We'll find out one day, won't we? Where did you go to school?
Well, I went to school at a wonderful comprehensive called Lochleys Comprehensive School.
Yeah, know it well.
And I grew up on a council estate in Lochleys by my beautiful mum and my lovely dad. I lost my dad at 18, which shaped my life and made me really tough at a very young age.
Could you tell me what your dad passed from? Yeah,
my dad died at the age of 51 of a heart attack. So obviously...
was that completely out of the blue, or do you have it?
Completely out of the blue. So, Steve, it really had an effect on me, had effect on my mum. And, made me and my mum really, really close, and my brother, because obviously when you have something like that happen young in life, it really, really bonds a family together. So, yeah.
What a blow. Now, you work as a registered nurse. That's your day job. You qualified, actually, back in 1990, and I know you've been doing that on and off over the years. I've researched you, mate.
Oh, my word.
Just tell me a bit about your work as a nurse. I know you haven't done it constantly over the years, but you've dipped in and out of it a bit. What sort of things have you done as a nurse over the years?
I've done pretty much everything. I currently specialise in working with people with autism, and I'm very much people-centred. As you know, you interview a lot of people. So if you can imagine me working with people with autism, everybody is different. And you have to find a way to communicate. You have to find someone's strengths. And you have to find what it is that makes them happy and what it is that makes them not happy. And just like you doing an interview with me, we're going to bond, I can tell, and be great. And that's a bit like working with people with autism. You try and find a way in. You find their skill, their strength, and you see the good and the possibilities and the potential. So,
you've obviously got a great caring side to you. You've also worked as an actor. You've done extra work. You've appeared in TV dramas. What sort of stuff have you cropped up in over the years?
I worked with Emmy Award winner Matthew McFadden in Stonehouse. I recorded Casualty, which hasn't quite gone out yet. That will be going out in January. I've been on a number of TV quiz shows.
Indeed, I was watching you on the... I absolutely love The Chase. I'm not kidding. I love The Chase. And you were on The Chase. You were up against the governess, weren't you?
You have done your research, haven't you, Steve? I'm impressed.
What was that like? Because I took part in a mock version of The Chase, a public event a while ago, and I found that nerve-wracking. But when you got the cameras pointed at you and it's actually got real money on the table, what's it like?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and this is quite not a good story. When I'd already, my mum was dying at the time I was recording The Chase, so I went with the outlook that whatever it takes, I'm going to take the low offer and I'm going to make sure I get back to the final chase. So my mum is going to see me in the final chase. There's no way I was going to chance going out, because I wanted her to see me win something before she died. She was in a nursing home. She was basically bedridden. So I went up first, and I told Bradley the story that, I'm going up first because I accepted £400. The offers was 40,000, 4,000, which or 400. And I said, I'm taking the 400 because I want to make sure I get back there so my mum can see me in the final. Of course, when the show came to be aired, that bit got edited out.
So they thought you were a meanie.
They thought I was a meanie, and I was portrayed I was trending on Twitter as a pantomime villain, the guy that took £400 when he was up first. I think one of the comments was, when I was reading on Twitter, one of the comments was, he's the type of guy who would throw his mum in front of a bus before him.
How ironic.
And that really hit me. And obviously then I got every single question right, got to the final chase. There was me and a very lovely young girl from London. We scored 18 and I was just rattling them out. And the governess then went on a roll. Steve, you must know, I was caught by 1 second.
I was rooting for you, honestly.
I seriously, obviously I'm an emotional guy. And I was doing it for my mum. I wasn't doing it for me. All my ego had gone. And I was literally crying, as soon as I saw that 1 second. So I realised that when this aired, my mum wouldn't see me win. So I thought, oh, God. But obviously the experience was great. But my mum saw me on telly, and I did end up winning a show called Cheap, Cheap, Cheap with Noel Edmonds. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we won £2,500. But my mum passed away before it aired. But here's a nice story. My mum passed, and 2 weeks later, me and my brother appeared on Letterboxd, the BBC show with Mel Goodrich from Mel and Sue. It was the very first episode, and we won it.
Oh, so was there much in that? I mean, did you win?
We won. We won how much? We won £1,000. And the ironic thing is, our mum passed before it aired, but she knew we were going, and she knew we won before she died. But unfortunately, she never saw it on TV.
Well, I tell you, I'd love to. When I retire, I'm going to go for all those shows if they're still running. Just tell me briefly about the chase. Do you get to meet the governess after the recording?
No.
Because you don't know who's coming out before.
You don't know who's coming out before. And I think why I went up first is because they said, who do you want to meet? So, of course, I said, I think it's the governess Anne, because I don't know, whatever happens on the show, I made a flippant comment and said, I think I want to go out on a date with her. Me and Anne are going to go out on a date and paint the town red. So, of course, they put me up first, knowing full well. And so she said to me, if we are going out for a date, it's going to be a fish and chip supper, she said, because you're not going to win any money.
Well, hats off to you for going on it. I mean, I think it's just the best programme. And was Bradley nice?
Bradley was the consummate professional. He had so much charisma, full of aura. Obviously, he used to be a professional footballer, so we chatted a little bit about that. But I got to be honest, Steve, during that cash builder, my knees were knocking like this. I was so nervous, and I'm the most confident person ever. Anyway, while we're on the topic, you want to do quizzes. How clever are you? Because can we form a team? If it's
I'm a bit
duo.
busy right now. Yeah.
No, but when you finally come to do it, what would be your specialist subject?
Oh, gosh. British wildlife, maybe? I don't know. I've got quite good musical knowledge.
All right.
I did this version of the chase, which was called The Pursuit, and I got 9 in the minute, and then we won. We did win the chase. I went high, but it was the prize was an umbrella, so it wasn't really that good.
Right.
Now, let's talk about serious stuff. You mentioned your mum, and you lost your mum, who you dearly loved, of course.
Of course.
But you've also had other things. You've had life-saving surgery yourself, haven't you?
That's right.
Could you tell me briefly about that?
Of course I will. The reason we're going to hear my song Movie Town Girl very soon, the reason I'm doing music, I'm a published songwriter.
Yeah, because you've written songs for other people, haven't you?
Yeah, one of which I can't name, which became a famous hit, but we signed, or I signed a document to say, I got some money, but, you know, the artist was known as writing songs themselves. But me and Pete Rowley, who I will mention, my business partner, and he helps me with many things. I record at his studio. We've written 4 songs that have been published. But what happened, I lost my mum, and then I had... I needed to have surgery, and if I didn't have it then, I could have died. So I had to have surgery. And at that time, my best friend came round my house and said, "Look, Steve, I'm dying of cancer." So that hit me. And Steve, when I came round of that recovery room after I'd had the surgery, which was luckily a success, I had to have it twice. But the first time, something in me, a light bulb went off in my head, and I thought to myself, and these girls were singing to Lewis Capaldi, Because Someone You Loved, as I was coming round, and I thought, do you know what? You've got to do music. My mum said to me on her deathbed, she said, "Steve, be a star." And I don't think she meant win quiz shows. I think she meant sing. And it's got to be you. You can't be writing for other people. You got to do it yourself. So from that moment, I was in Pete Rowley's studio nearly every day. And I said, "Pete, I don't know what it is. I've had a message from God or the universe or whatever you choose to believe in that tells us I've got to write my life story in music." So Movie Town Girl is the first single from what will hopefully be a very successful career.
Had you ever considered yourself as